What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Dokkan battle video. Today we're going to be doing a new series which is going to show people that have never played this game before a step-by-step process of what to do in this game. If you're completely lost, you don't know what to do, you're just a Dragon Ball fan, you've seen this game, your friend showed you this game, and how to go about, what do I need to do to become successful in this game, especially if you're going to be a free-to-play player and you don't want to spend any money. And I got my friend Muhammad here. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mohammed. You can call me Brute Psychic, and I'll be helping you guys learn about Dokkan Battle. It's very fun.
Yeah, we're
Very,
going
very fun.
going to go over some topics today. We're going to talk about type advantages and more detail and stuff like that. Training, what to do with the greatest warrior, which is on the main screen, and other various things. And all that stuff will be in the description below, as his YouTube channel will be as well. So definitely check out Muhammad. Give him a subscribe as well, because he don't have any videos yet, but he does plan to do it, and he's a really good guy. So I'm gonna let him kind of get started and take it off with the first part. There's gonna be, like I said, everything we go over will be in every description if you get confused. So just look for it there, and then this will be part one, and we'll do the videos in parts. So I'm gonna let Mohammed have this now, and then I'm gonna kind of include if I feel like I need to at moments as well. So, all right, go ahead, Mohammed.
Yeah, okay. So if you're new to Dokkan or you want to play the Dokkan game, welcome. If you're feeling lost, don't worry. We'll do everything from the zero, from literally the beginning, zero. All right. So to start off, what is Dokkan? All right. Dokkan Battle is a game where you have units, right, on the bottom of your screen. As you can see here, you have different kind of characters and slots, and you're clicking on key spheres, right? There are different colors key spheres. We're trying to click on them, get some key, and stuff like that. We'll get into more detail later on, right? So, what is key spheres, right? Key spheres are like little colorful balls where you collect as much as you can. The more you collect, the more attack you do, which means more damage to the enemy, right? The goal of this enemy is as you can see, you have 3 bars. So you have the health bar. Your goal is to try to make that all the way to 0, to quote unquote KO the enemy, right? And of course, you don't want to lose. In order for you to lose, you got to lose all of your health here down below,
Yep.
right? You have 129,000. If you get to 0, game over, right? The enemies do attack, so
Do.
we'll get into that more detail. All right, so that's key spheres. You can collect multiple key spheres of the same color if they are next to one another. So it's like if you played Candy Crush or like those like matching colorful games, right?
Yeah.
If you see key spheres next to each other, right? You click on them and you can kind of see how like it's all
Right.
connected. Burst means like it's like connected to like diagonal or to the sides, and straight you can see the straight path here. And yeah, so you're trying to collect as many key spheres as you can, get some matching in,
Right.
right?
It's kind of like that's what I was going to say. If you played Candy Crush, or if you played games like Bejeweled, like this is similar in a way. You still got to know the advantages, but you'll kind of be a little bit right at home with it. So yeah, he made a good point there too. That's what I was about to say. That's what this game reminded me of when I started. I was like, they're like, have you played Candy Crush? That's what someone told me. I was like, yeah, a little bit. So but yeah, I'll let him continue. I just like to point that out. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so, and another thing is when collecting key spheres, if you collect the same color as the character's icon, so for example, you can see this guy is yellow or orange, however you
Mm-hmm.
want to pronounce it. If you collect the same colored orbs, you actually get double the orbs. So for example, you collected 7 here, you can see that would
Mm-hmm.
turn to 14 because each key is 2 keys. So if you get 1 ball, it becomes 2. If you get 2 balls, it becomes 4, etc., etc. If you get the same colored orb as the
The character.
icon here.
And then
Uh,
if you don't, I don't know what I'll let Muhammad give his opinion on what he does, like, which we're going to go into rainbow key spheres in a minute. But like, if like how we got the same colors, like if you can't match the colors, that's fine. But always try to match the colors. But I always go for as many orbs as I can get. If I can't match, that's what I do. I mean, because then you're getting
yeah,
more that way anyways. That's the way I've always done it.
Yeah, so for example, if you see two, for example, two yellow orbs for this Goku, which equals to four, right? Because it's double,
Right.
and you see five blue orbs, you may as well go for the five blue orbs, right? So that way, it doesn't really
Uh,
matter as long as you get as much key as you can.
well,
Uh,
it also depends if you need health, because if you need health, matching the colors also give you more health as well. Well,
that's right. You're generating health through matching the same colors. So if you're wondering how I can heal, well, one way to heal is matching the orbs with your character icon. If you don't know why this guy's yellow and why this guy's green, don't worry, we'll get into that later on. But yeah, okay. And so, it's super attacks. Super attacks is a cool special ability, special move that each character has. Each one is unique and it plays a little animation. You can see this guy has a little Kamehameha. To get a super attack, you have to collect enough ki. How much ki do you need? Well, if you can see, you have to get like all around, like you see this guy all around,
should be
that's around 12
yep,
ki.
12.
If you get 12 ki, you get a cool super attack. And yeah, and next thing I want to talk about is if you go back here, if you see the little rainbow orbs are like any orb, right? It's a way to, it's like a gate, it's like a bridge. You can
Yep.
connect from one orb to the next orb. So, for example, if um, if this orb right here, if this orb that the finger clicked on that was red, right? You would cut off all these yellow orbs, right? And you can only connect these three because or these two, right? Because this one's cut off. But if that
Right.
was a rainbow orb, that was a rainbow orb. This rainbow orb acts like another yellow orb, so you can still connect all seven of them together.
Right.
So it's
Which gives you clutch, and uh, later in the videos you'll see more advantages. Sometimes collecting the rainbow key spheres for certain characters give them more advantages, like more super attacks and stuff too. So it's always good to do that if you can't just grab them like Goku's doing here, like he said with the rainbow. They're pretty much like a bridge. So
yeah. And if you're wondering how much key do you get from one rainbow orb, it's only one. The two only applies to same color exactly. So rainbow orbs you get one, but it acts like a key. Acts like a bridge to connect all your other orbs. So keep that in mind. Okay.
right.
All right. So you can see the little cool super attacks. Oh, see the damage. That's cool.
I will tell you,
All
for
right.
me, as you all watching, if you're brand new to the game, the super attacks, which I was a Dragon Ball fan, because most of the time, if you're gonna try this game, it's cool. I've seen a few people that aren't Dragon Ball fans. I'm not gonna go off topic too much because of the tutorial, but usually Dragon Ball fans are the ones that are going to try this game most of the time, and the super attacks is what's going to draw you in for the most part.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's like watching a Dragon Ball episode sometimes. So many super
It
attacks.
is.
Anyway,
It is.
yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about some typings. So you can see Goku is a PHY type. What does PHY stand for? Well, if you really want the details, you check on. If you have we have a little map here. So PHY stands for physical, INT stands for intelligence, technique, AGL agility, and STR strength. So you can see that sorry, if you can see that each spread is
Yeah.
the color. You can see the colors
That's
here and the types.
That's a good
So if
zoom
you
in, and that's a good tip too, because it always stays on your screen. Like that is what I used when I started playing all the time. Like I don't need to now because I know, but in the beginning, man, always look at that chart up there all the time.
it does help. It does help. This was there for a reason, right? So if you're wondering why Goku is yellow, well, now you know that Goku is a physical type. And if you look at Piccolo, over here, he's green. So what does green stand for? Well, if you look at the chart, you can see that it's a tech type, right? What does the type advantage do and stuff like that? We'll get into that later. No worries. But there's typings for you.
Right.
So now, type matchups. If the character type is advantage against the enemy, the character will be able to guard and reduce attack taken from the enemy attack. So what does this really mean? Well, if you go back to the chart, you can see that you can see little arrows. For
Yeah.
example, the STR has the arrow on the physical, physical has an arrow on the int has physical on tech, and etc. etc. What this means is that this type is advantageous or better than that type.
Right.
And that means you have something called a quote unquote type advantage. So
And disadvantage too. You got both.
yes, and disadvantage. So there's no such thing there's no color that's always the best. Each one has a counter, and each one has a weakness and strength. So if you are type advantage, you see here, you are able to guard and reduce damage taken from the enemy attack. So you do less damage from their attacks, and due to the fact that you have type advantage.
Yep.
There is more. Yeah, that's the bare basics of it. So just remember, guard equals reduced damage because of type advantage. Okay.
It's true.
Also, you were able to do more damage to the enemy because of type advantage. So because, for example, this Goku who is yellow and Raditz is purple, if you go to the wheel again, if I can just go back, if you go to the wheel again, you can see
Yep.
that physical here beats int. So what that means is he will do approximately about 1.5 times more damage, and he has guard, which means he'll do less damage over here.
Yep.
Okay? Now, if you're asking, oh, but what happens, but doesn't really matter if you need to do type advantage, what happens if you're in type disadvantage, right?
It's true.
Well, you don't have to always have type advantage, right? You don't, that's only part of the game. It's not like a must have, but it's good to know, right? Because,
It's
for
it's a good habit to have to try to do. And another good point I want to make to him, which we'll go over in further detail. I'm just thinking because of type advantages. Like say this Raditz, if you look at the top, because he's got it up here with his health bar, you're going against just one enemy. If you're going against like sometimes you go against more than one enemy, and we'll go into that later. But you can click on those and still try to get your lineup to attack which one has an advantage to it sometimes. So always having the advantage is definitely a good practice to have.
yeah, right? So definitely something you want to keep in mind. And if you're type disadvantage, well, it's going to be vice versa. You take more damage, and the enemy does more deep damage on you. So just keep that in mind. It's not like you know game breaking a lot, but you do take a bit more. So if you want to take that into account a little bit when deciding which unit goes where, we'll keep that in mind. We'll go into that slot. We'll go into something we call slots over here, which is something at the bottom here. We'll go into that in more detail. No problem. No problem. All right. So you can see here the chart. It says the damage dealt to the enemy will increase. There you go. And then you can see type advantage and disadvantage. There you go. So now let's talk about attack order, aka slots. So you see at the bottom, if you get the picture here, the enemy and ally icons at the bottom of your screen represents the order in which characters will attack, and it's from left to right. So yes, enemies does attack you. It's not like just some brain dead game where you just click on orbs and you'll guarantee win, blah 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 blah. Enemies can attack you and you can lose, believe me. A
Yep.
lot of us, there's some hard events out there. We get one shotted, it does happen. Like that's part of the game.
It still
Um,
happens to veterans sometimes. Like it's happened to me playing this five
it
years.
is,
You
yeah, it
kind of go
is.
back and learn.
Losing is more common than you think. It can become quite difficult of a game. So, what are slots and why does attack order matter? Well, if you see at the bottom of my screen here, you can see that Raditz is going to attack first.
By his little
And
icon. Yeah,
by
they always got their icons if they're going to attack with their picture.
That's right. So they're always going to attack on their picture here. So now you can see here we have three slots or three quote unquote slots or three icons here for each unit. We have something called a slot 1, which is where Piccolo is, slot 2, where Goku is, and a slot 3, where I don't know who's there, but you get the point, right? So, what's the difference between each slot, and why is it very important to know what each slot does and its importance? I'll show you why. So, slot 1, the difference between slot 1 to slot 2 and slot 3 is that slot 1, the enemy attacks before you. The enemy attacks before you attack.
And like he
So,
noted, it always goes left to right. This never changes. What he's about to tell you will always be what happens. Like you'll have these three characters, and then the next turn comes in, it'll always be slot 1 to 3. So just always remember left to right.
left to right, yes. The enemies will always attack from left to right. So slot 1 is important because the enemy will attack you before you attack them. So if you're doing a super attack, which can, for example, have some buffs like increase your defense or increase your attack, right, to help you try to tank or try to take less damage, right? You're gonna have to survive this attack before building your character up or before doing the super attack. So it's very important to have units here that can help
They have
defend
guard.
themselves.
They have guard. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They can help defend themselves against this attack because this attack is a very deadly attack because you can't do anything about it. There are multiple ways to defend this, which we'll get onto future videos and stuff like that, but for now, keep this in mind. Slot 1 is important because you are getting attacked first before you attack. Slot 2, however, you will always attack before your opponent attacks.
Right.
So you're always able to build up if you want to, do super attacks and increase your defense, increase your attack, or do whatever. You're able to do that and help defend yourself against Raditz. And then the third slot is the same thing as slot 2. The difference between slot 2 and slot 3, so the difference between Goku and this one, is the fact that if you see this wheel over here, you can see that it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It has 7 slots, right? As you
Right.
can see, each icon is 1 slot. So after this, after you've done all your attacks and everything, something we call rotations happen. So the next 3 will come in, right? And then
Right.
the next 3 will do their things, and then the next 3 come in, right? So, yeah, once they do their attack, the next set of characters come in, and after that, these guys will come back. So these guys come back every 2 turns. Why? Because we see the wheel, you can see that Goku, Piccolo, and the third slot is active. Then the wheel switches to the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and then the wheel switch back into these 3 again.
Right.
However, slot 3, you will see it every 3 turns. So if you can see here, the wheel has an odd number of 7.
Right.
It's not 6, so there's not always going to be 3, 3, 3, 3. It has
Yeah.
7.
If it
So
if it was like an even number, it would be more balanced. But
so there will always be one unit that will not come back until 3 turns. There will always be that one unit that gets left out. So if you put a unit in slot 3, that unit will take that spot and will be left out for an extra turn. Okay, so let's keep that in mind, right? So slot 1 is important because you're trying to survive that first attack.
which
Slot 2,
is your tanky unit.
right? Slot 2 is where you do your super attacks, do damage, and defend yourself before the next attack from Reddit. And then slot 3
Which
is
two would be your build up unit, and some units are build up units in their passes, which we'll go into later. And 3 is your floater.
that's right. 3 is what we call a floater slot, and we will not see this until 3 turns. So if there might be some uses for this, in case you don't want to see him until 3 turns for whatever reason, maybe he gets a buff, maybe whatever, but this is important to know. Okay, so that's attack order and slots. All right. If you have any questions, of course, leave in the comments, all that good stuff. But
Right.
this is slots.
Like I said,
All right.
and it'll always left to right. Like I said, just remember that.
Yeah, always left to right. So you can see here, they give you an example.
Yep.
Rat attack first, and then boom, boom. So whenever you want to pick a slot 1 unit, you have type advantage, you have other stuff. You want to think about who's able to defend themselves the best from the
I
slot.
like
And
how
then,
they note you there. They give you the 1, 2, and 3. That's really helpful because I didn't understand that in the beginning either. So
yeah. So yeah. All right. And then you can see here, in order to guard against Raditz attack, they show you that Goku has type advantage, which if you see the wheel again, you can see that physical beats int. So you can see he has guard and will take less damage from Raditz, so it's good that you put him in slot 1 so he's able to tank Raditz's attack even better. Whoops. Oh.
and then do the super attack, which will do more damage to him as well, on top of guarding him.
Yes. Okay. And yeah, that's the other screenshots are for other stuff, but yeah, that's the basics of Dokkan. That's the general stuff of Dokkan, and where the complexity is team building, building your teams, try to survive against these attacks, doing enough damage, and all that
And
stuff.
healing
So
and stuff, yeah, too. And by switching Goku, there, like I said, at the bottom you see the arrows, like that. You'll always be able to switch the 3 units unless the unit blocks it off. But in the earlier part of the game, that don't really happen. That happens more advanced, so that's something later. But like by switching Goku there as well and guarding Raditz and grabbing the yellow, you're also going to get health back too. And like I said, then that's going to also make you survive at times, knowing So always use that wheel up there.
That's right. This wheel is nice. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave in the comments. And congrats, you have understood the basics of Dokkan.
Yeah, year part one is pretty much in. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I hope all this made sense. Like I said, if you do have any questions, as he asked, leave comments down below. We're going to keep this account to kind of go step by step for learning. We're going to try to do probably a lesson per day when I'm off work and upload it. So we'll try to bump it out as quick as we can. I might, once we start doing this, probably do like 2 lessons a day, because it doesn't take real long to really kind of go over. So we hope you all enjoy this series. Like I said, I got Muhammad's links in the description. We'll give everything that we go over in the description. So like I said, leave your comments down below. You got anything else left to say to him?
You know, welcome to Dokkan, and I hope you enjoy. We have a pretty nice, pretty cool community, a big community, and yeah, I hope you can continue to enjoy Joy-Con, and we'll help you out with tutorials and stuff. Yeah.
And the only note I have left is, if you are starting, save your stones and don't summon just yet. Like, at least give us a week to like put this out, and we'll tell you like more of how to do your summons. If you're just confused, you're like, what are these dragon stones for? Hold on to those. So I'm glad you all enjoyed this video. We're going to end it here. Like I said, like, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Check out my buddy's channel here, Muhammad. It's going to be linked in the description as well, and throw him a subscription, because at some point he's going to put out his content as well. So thank you all for watching. We'll see you all in the next video.